What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but we are here with something a little different. It is Philly Talk and Symone with the sports. We are live on both channels. Don't forget to show love on both channels, whether you're watching this live with us and or watching this on the rerun. We're here to talk about the combine that's been going on in the past couple of days, but the 40s that were ran by the defensive linemen, the linebackers, the edge rushers today. Plus, we got to talk about free agency because that comes before the draft. Combine gets you ready for the draft. But once we see who the Eagles sign via our own free agents and or
Right.
look at others, then we can figure out what our draft needs and whose combine was good. But Symone, let them know what you all about if they haven't seen you on my channel.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on YouTube, Symone with the sports, Symone, Twitter, Symone_Stanley, but everywhere else is Symone with the sports, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Symone with the sports.
There we go. There we go. So off the back, what jumps out to you so far in this combine? I mean, not just who has ran, like if there's somebody in a different position that hasn't gone yet, which will go maybe tomorrow, the weekend, next week, because there's a couple more days of this. Who are you looking at because of the combine or waiting to see? I want to see his measurables, his vertical, his 40 time, his 10-yard shuttle. Who's on your mind when it comes to NFL combine appearances?
What I'm really looking at is defensive tackle and running back. I think we all know and like we all can agree that we have to go best corner available, whatever, whether we're picking at 10 or whether how he trades back to like 12, 13, 14, 15. I feel like we all agree that we have to come out with a pro ready, day one ready cornerback. Because I feel like no matter what happens in free agency, I don't think that James Bradberry is going to be coming back. So I feel like that's a sure lock. But I feel like we're going to be looking at the defensive tackle position. That group went today. We could possibly lose Fletcher and Javon Hargrave. Worst case scenario. My ideal is to bring Javon back, but there is a lot of guys in this draft in the event that Javon is asking for too much or doesn't want to budge with the money. We're going to have to look to replace him. And we could end up going defensive tackle before we go cornerback and then also running back. There are some free agent running backs we can get, but Bijan, for me, I'm not going running back with our no matter what number we're picking at first. I'm not picking a running back first in the draft, but I am interested in a running back. So I know we talked about Jamar Gibbs. There is a scenario where he might not be there with our second first round pick either. So I'm looking at who are some of those diamond in the roughs or those non-Jahmyr Gibbs, non-Bijan Robinson running backs that we can get in here when Miles skips on out of town.
When he skips on out of town. Yeah, he did a lot of skipping in the Super Bowl, to say the least. And look, I'm a big Miles fan for sure.
Right.
And he had a Pro Bowl season, and it's just sad things have to end this way. I know people keep saying, you hear him saying he loves Philly, he wants to stay in Philly. Well, if the numbers don't match the love, then as that song said, what's love got to do with it, man? If you want this much money, you're not really showing me how much you love me, and I don't think it's going to be able to work out for both parties. The Eagles already expressing interest in Kenny G as the lead back. I don't buy him being able to do everything. I'm not trying to slight Kenny G. I think he's a fantastic player, but in this league, the way we run the ball, even though Jalen takes a load of that, you want to have two running backs that you feel confident. Like last year, it was Miles Sanders and Kenny G. This year, got to be somebody and Kenny G. The chat said, and I was going to talk about him too, Zach Charbot out of UCLA. He's a guy that I think if you don't, bite the bullet early, you might be able to get him in the second round, possibly move up with one of your thirds and take him day 2, maybe even day 3 pick. But yeah, I think as you elaborated early, we automatically assume James Bradberry is gone, and it's because of the money he's going to be asking for corner after all.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I just unplugged it. I think we are going to try to get Hargrave back depending on the money. But I think that's where that first round, the number 10 pick really matters. If somehow we lose both Hargrave and Bradberry, well, now it's like that 10 pick, you can have some top flight D tackles and top flight corners. And listen, I would probably still go corner. However, Howie Roseman loves D line, O line.
Right.
You end up losing both Fletch, because I think Fletch is gone just because, if anybody on the D line that is old takes a pay cut, it's going to be like a BG. I don't see Fletch doing it at this point in
Mm-mm.
the career. So if we lose Bradbury and Hargrave, I think it's a flip of a coin on who's there. And I do think that you're going to have one of the top three guys in Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., and Devin Weatherspoon there. And I think you're going to have one of these guys at D tackle, or at least somebody on the line, especially if we don't get BG back, that how he's going to pull the trigger there. It is very shoots and ladders when it comes to Howie Roseman, because his aggressiveness and the fact that we do only have 6 picks. Maybe he wants to garner some more picks. I can see him go either way, but I do think D tackle and cornerback is the top of our list as it pertains to that 10th overall pick. I don't know what's going to happen with 30th.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I feel like with Fletcher Cox, Fletcher had such a good season last season. This is probably his last shot at some money before he does hit that, fall off a cliff when the age starts really catching up to him. So, yeah, I don't see Fletcher taking that team friendly, sticking around with the Birds deal after the season that he had. So I feel like we have more depth okay, so in the event that we lose James and Javon, which would be devastating, because I can't cope with losing Javon Hargrave after this season. But in the terrible event, worst case scenario, we lose James and Javon Hargrave, I do think we should logically draft a corner first to replace James Bradbury, because we have way more depth at defensive tackle, than we do at outside corner. That's the most logical thing to do. But again, Howie Roseman loves the darn trenches. And we saw last year in the draft, Jordan Davis exploded at the combine, right? Like, exploded. And then look what we do. Go and get Jordan Davis. I love Jordan Davis, but I honestly did not see that coming. When we traded up, I was like, okay, what are we doing on that? Oh, wait. Okay, Jordan Davis. Okay, I see it. It makes sense. I'm thinking Javon Hargrave going to be out the door this season. I was thinking Jordan Davis was going to push Javon out. But Javon stood his ground, had a career year, went crazy. And now we in this position.
Yeah, it's a position that, you want Hargrave back, but he's at the top of a lot of people's list. If you're trying to rush the passer from the D tackle position, he's on your list. Speaking of some of the combine, not the actual measurables, but here's the list of the people that the Eagles met with at the combine. Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame, Antonio Johnson, the safety from Texas A&M, defensive lineman Dejon Johnson from Toledo, safety Brandon Joseph from Notre Dame, cornerback from Georgia, Khalil Ringo, a guy that I think that if we end up going D-line, this, that, and the third, he's going to be on our radar for, the second first-round pick, early second-round pick, trying to get a corner there, because I don't think we have luck drafting corners late in the round, a la Zach McPherson, taking a gamble on once upon a time first-round scouted talent in Sidney Jones, but the ACL tear. But let's go down the list a little more. Offensive lineman Osiris Terrence out of Florida. Cornerback Garrett Williams out of Syracuse. Defensive line Byron Young out of Alabama, who I think I like him a lot. Not with the top 10, but I do like Byron Young. And then also D-line Javon Dexter out of Florida. 2 corners on this list we met with. Both these guys were playing some good ball, suffered an injury, and now look to try to get back into the first round, but will be at the tail end of the first round. Garrett Wilson is a guy that I think could go before 30, because, he should be good for training camp, and he was doing his thing in Syracuse before the injury. But they're 2 guys that I will be looking at if the Eagles do go D-line. I'm looking at Ringo. I'm looking at Williams for that second pick. And I know running back got to be in the mix, but what is your take in free agency? Like trying to get a 1-year deal guy to play alongside of Kenny G. I know this running back draft is deep, and so maybe we do find something in the second, third rounds. But the Bijan Robinsons, the Gibbs, even a guy like Tank Bigsby, Devin Achi, even Zach Charbonnet. I don't know if they're there. What is your take on free agency running back, bringing a 1-year guy, a 1-year deal guy for just this upcoming season?
I'm not mad at it at all. And that's why I'm glad the free agency comes before the draft. They probably did that so you can see how things shake out before the draft. But I see people talking about Kareem Hunt, and I'm not mad at Kareem Hunt, but I feel like Kareem Hunt's price tag is going to be a little bit more than I'm willing to pay at running back. I'm looking for somebody like a Jamal Williams. He's a bruiser from the Detroit Lions. I was just talking about him the other day. They're projecting him to sign. His market value is around $4 million. If I'm signing a running back, because we are running back by committee, it is going to be the carries are going to be divided up between whoever we bring in via draft or free agency and Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott. So I'm not trying to pay any more than, honestly, $6 million. So I'm looking at somebody like a Jamal Williams. He has, again, he can carry the workload. He had over 1,000 yards rushing last season, 17 rushing touchdowns. He is a bruiser. He's a veteran. And again, cheap. So that's really my target. And plus his personality, like, he's a fan favorite over there. He's got a lot of personality. He's done a lot of stuff like broadcasting NFL Network. He always saying something goofy and whatnot. Seems like he would slide right in to the personality wheel as well.
Yeah, and sometimes that is important too, because we already heard the guys in the locker room, the coaches, how we speak about how close knit this team was, and that also separated. Of course, talent prevails, but these guys will ride or die for each other, and it's going to be a different group of guys in there, and we know he's definitely a locker room helper, not a guy who can come in and divide stuff. And he's been around, so he understands that if Kenny G does take the league by storm and he starts doing this, that, and the third, he fall back as the bruiser.
Right.
Another guy I was looking at, and again, it is what it is. I'm talking like dollar store cheap. And I think Leonard Fournette is ready to take a real cheap contract on some, $3 million with incentives. Now he got to get back in shape. He started off the season with Tampa pretty darn good.
He did.
But then all them backs over there out took him. I know he has attitude. He's the opposite of a Jamal Williams when it comes to locker room fit. But I'm talking if we end up trying to extend Jalen Hurts, if we end up bringing back a Hargrave or a TJ Edwards, or we make a fight for BG for a little bit longer, because he said on a podcast yesterday that he wants to play 2 more years with a team. Maybe he takes a discount for the Eagles. But if we're trying to get at least a handful of these 17 free agents, that's where you got to really bite the bullet on running back, which a draftee will do. A draftee in the second, third round is really cheap. I'm just trying to fit as many holes on defense as possible.
Same.
With the draft.
Right. I'm not trying to go offense. Because I hear people talking about Tank Dell. I'm not trying to go offense shoot any time in this draft. Now I know
except for running back. You're thinking about that.
Know we just have so many holes. Like, the easiest position for us to fill when we look at our team and the potential holes, the easiest one to fill is running back. That's the easiest position for us to fill. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's kind of last on my list when I'm looking at plugging and playing here. So honestly, if we could go I know how we gonna throw a lineman in there at some point, but if we could go all defense but for the lineman, that would be ideal. I feel like if we can land one of these free agents, whether it's a Jamal Williams, whether it's a Leonard Fournette, and of course Leonard is behind my list on Jamal. But if we have to go running back in the draft, I'm fine with it if we don't, get that cheap free agent. But shoot, if we can just handle that before the draft, then I'll be good there.
Yeah, and we have 6 draft picks. 2 of them are in the deep 7th round, 220 and 250, which, you could throw a flyer out there, but we don't expect that guy to come in and contribute next year, right? You know what I mean? However, the first 4 picks are all in the top 100. Picking in the top 100, even that last one at like I think it's 90 something. I think you if do it right, you can get a guy who contributes in this upcoming season. So these 4 picks, I need at least 3 of them to be on the defensive side, and I need 3 of them to be playing, especially if we're going to allow the Giants to take TJ Edwards, the Jets to take Hargrave, the Cardinals to take James Bradbury. You know what I mean? You just they're all flying off the list. Let me ask you this though: how confident are you that C.J. Gardner-Johnson will be here next year?
Okay, now that's a 2-part question. How confident am I that he's gonna be here? Happy? Because I feel like Howie already done said he's gonna stamp that franchise tag. Now, I'm just glad that we're on the same page. Me and Howie, we right here right now, because CJ is definitely my main priority, and Javon is a close second. But CJ is definitely my main priority to lock up, and that's the guy that we know now that we have had talks with when it comes to the contract. Now, I just know for a fact CJ ain't going to Arizona after he clapped that after he came at Jonathan Gannon on Twitter. So we know Gannon at least ain't poaching CJ. But I'm confident that CJ will be here. I hope it's not via franchise tag, because obviously that's why he didn't want to be with the Saints. The Saints weren't trying to pay him. And CJ seemed like the type of player, like when he with you, like he's amazing, he's good. But if he not feeling right,
he calling you out on Twitter.
Yeah, I can see that attitude flipping real quick with CJ. So I hope that we do not have to franchise tag. I hope we could just get that contract worked out before the season.
I totally agree. This is why I believe he'll be here and be happy, because Howie does have some of these players trust, in the sense that he might give you that promise, like, look, do this, and I promise I'll take care of you. We've gotten in trouble with that at times too, with taking care of people on the back end, this, that, and the third. I understand he's coming off a Pro Bowl type season, led the league in interceptions, but he's been rah-rah Philly more than normal. And so you would think if there was a conversation going on in the background, him, a guy who's not afraid to speak his mind, would be a little bit more distant, maybe hinting some stuff on IG and Twitter, which he hasn't. He's been ride or die with his players, coming at Juju, coming at all these guys.
Right.
So I do believe we're going to get that job done. And Howie doesn't normally let his top priority go. And besides Jalen Hurts, that has been recorded as the top priority for this offseason. Real quick though, shout out to Michael Fedler with the $10 super chat. He said a buck. This is an important offseason. We just came off a Super Bowl loss, and we trying to get back. We trying to stay on top of the NFC, and it starts with filling these holes on defense. Bold Brew with the $5 super chat. I would trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Bold Brew, let me know.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me know what you're trying to give up for Clyde. Now, look, he ain't a bad guy, but again, we trying to get cheap. Look,
exactly.
We trying to. Here's the thing: if you're saying we'll trade a 3rd-round pick, do you think there's a 3rd-round running back that is better than him that will be cheaper? Now, he's still on his rookie deal too, but he's coming off his deal quicker than the guy in the 3rd round we get this year. So, I think. We're so used to Howie Roseman doing this, that, and the third, being the boss, being Howie Roseman. And coming off the last all season, we are expecting a lot of things, but we are in a position where we found our franchise guy. We're going to pay our franchise guy. We have the offense locked up. It might be a little bit before we get like super studs on the defense, but again, a good DC. Look at the Chiefs defense, right? They had a couple big stars, but they were young in the secondary. They were young around. Spagnuolo was able to get them to play right and do enough to now go ahead and get to the Super Bowl and win. And so that's going to be our mindset going into this 2023 season to me. But I don't see it where, because I see everybody talk about let's get Mariota as our backup because he's because he can run and fit Jalen Hurts style. Well, let's go get this guy. Man, I want some of my own guys back first. And I know you're hiding with the Mariota pick. You know what I mean?
Because I just recorded that video.
She's like, I didn't hit play. I didn't hit upload yet. Now, look, I understand it. But like, all right, so give him a sneak peek. How much you think he costs?
Well, not only like, I don't even know the word. What's called hesitancy with somebody like Marcus Mariota. Does Marcus Mariota know that he is now a backup quarterback? Like, I don't need no dude who's thinking, oh, I'm fighting for quarterback one. I still got it in me. I still got it in me. No, we need somebody who knows their role is a backup in this league. Okay. But Marcus does have that dual threat ability. He's very athletic. So we do have pretty much the same offensive staff. We have a new offensive coordinator, but that Shane Steichen influence is coming from Nick Sirianni, and that's still going to be sprinkled over this offense. So we saw how when Minshew got hurt, how they did not even adjust for having a whole different playing style of a quarterback. So we do need to have someone who's similar to Jalen Hurts, who I feel like that could be Marcus Mariota. We need somebody who we know can come in and won't have us falling off a cliff, especially with this schedule next season. This schedule it's no room for mistakes on here. So we need a guy who can come in and, use the weapons around him.
Yeah, and again, if you can get him for 3-4 mil, 5 mil, 3, it's tough. Like, when you have a backup that you believe in can come in and win a couple games, you got to pay them accordingly. Then,
That's true.
The knock on wood thing would be Jalen play all 17. We'd want that. And I'm not saying he can't do it or he will or won't do it. I do believe we got to have a backup quarterback. I'm just looking at, if you're asking me to spend money on a backup quarterback over a guy who can give me minutes, I'm always going to take the guy who can give me minutes, but we do have to have a reliable source. So again, depending on what he will take, I know Tyler Huntley is the guy behind Lamar Jackson. And when he comes in, he actually plays pretty well too.
They got two quarterbacks over there. They got two. They're quarterback by committee because Lamar stays hurt. They basically had to have two quarterback ones.
Yeah, I hear you. Shout out to SM22 with the $2 super chat. He says, Symone, I love you, but the Braves got to go.
It's got to be more than $2 to take the Braves down, SM22.
Yeah. Hey, she's representing Atlanta, but she still got that Philly in her. You know what I mean? So she got to rep at least one. Look, she got the Sixers and the Eagles. So she's 2 out of 3 when it comes to major sports. You got to give her one. You got to give her one hometown.
I just live in Atlanta.
Yeah, but and that's why you got to give at least. And they just won. I like some of their
first job out of college was with the Atlanta Braves. Like, that's the first people that put money in my pocket. So
you guys show love for sure. But yeah, I totally agree. My thing is this upcoming year, we trying to get right back to where we left off. And it's not an easy thing to do. Howie Roseman talked about it. A lot of people say, oh, we're going to be back. And they don't come back, partly because their schedule's tougher, partly because they lose people, they lose coordinators, and we're seeing all that. However, the backup quarterback behind Jalen for his long contract got to be someone that can come in and play games. But if you're telling me we're 1 year we got to skimp, that's when I'm thinking this year got to be, I think we got to cut as many quarters. And again, teams that go to the Super Bowl or make a playoff run, they got to be healthy. So like, if we do what we do, sign this guy back, we try to figure out things, but we catch the injury bug, it is what it is at that point. It happens. It's tough though, because I do hear the point. It's all depends what Mariota wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mariota, the backup quarterback. Like I said, running back was last on my list. Backup quarterback is definitely down there as well. But it's definitely something we have to address. But like you said, that's somewhere where I'm being cheap. I'm cutting corners. I'm cutting corners and being cheap at backup quarterback and at running back because, again, we do have a phenomenal offensive line. We don't need to I'm not trying to give up a bunch of assets. They're talking about trade for Clyde. Trade what for Clyde? We barely have any draft picks. So, like, trade what for Clyde? If anything, we need to be flipping Quez for another pick or something like that. Like, we need as much as assets as we can. Like, I'm not spending a draft pick on Clyde when we can use a later round draft pick or somebody else, or when we can sign possibly a Jamal Williams. Because if his market value is $4.5 million, we know how we going to talk that down a little bit. If they come in here, they are definitely getting less than their market value. So I think we're going to be fine because James Bradberry last season, he took less money. He said he had more offers to go other places. He took less money to come to Philly. People know what we building over here. So we're going to have even more of an upper hand this season in free agency than we did last season in free agency. Like the fact that we pulled off what we pulled off last season with the trades and with the free agents, we're going to do even better because we're going to be coming off of a Super Bowl. We're not going to be a Super Bowl run. We're not going to be coming off of a first round beat down from the Bucks. First year with the coaching staff, still Nick questions, still Jonathan questions, still Jalen Hurts was a question. Now we got something even better and more enticing to sway people to come here with.
Yeah, I do think that the 1-year deal this year is going to be enticing for a guy who's trying to get back and show that they are capable of playing. Again, Bradberry, before this year, if he would have hit free agency, he wouldn't get top dollar market. Kaiser White wasn't getting the money he was going to be offered. So these guys came here, they had a tremendous year, and now they're going to go out there and make bread. So I think we could still be a stop point for a couple veterans who want to showcase their talent and help us fill the gap by taking less money for the 2023 season. SM22 with a $2 super chat. He said, okay, she gets the pass. It's all love and fun. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Going back to the combine, though, there were some impressive 40 times by these D linemen. I mean, I feel like these players get faster and faster and faster every year. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with the unofficial time and blah, blah, blah. But these, I mean, they eat their Wheaties. I don't know.
Right.
These kids are getting faster and faster. Defensive lineman out of Northwestern,
a day.
The double A. His name is like a Dwabi something. Y'all, you guys know. If you don't know how to pronounce it, you're in the same boat as I am. He ran a 4.54 out of Northwestern. That he's an interesting prospect. So far, his combine has looked pretty good. I mean, his measurables, again, they compared Milton Williams combine to Aaron Donald, and we know he's not Aaron Donald, but Milton Williams, I think every year so far, every couple games, you see more and more out of him. I expect him to be a key contributor at the D tackle position in the future, especially if we're talking about losing Hargrave and losing Fletch.
Right.
Milton Williams is going to have to step up. But Nolan Smith ran a beautiful 44.440. He's a linebacker / edge rusher. And then Kalijah Cansey. I know people talk about his short arms, but he showed the burst. He has some flexibility, play inside, outside. He could do some things. So again, top 10 pick. No, but if we end up using that top 10 on a corner, which I think every Eagle fan is really hoping and praying for that, because we got a taste of a Bradberry Slade duo, right? Haven't seen that since Sheldon and Lito. I don't want to go back to having one guy and then a liability, a Rasul Douglas until he went to the Packers, type corner on the other side of whoever's good. So I do think you got to mold somebody, and let's not act like Darius Slay is going to be here forever. There's already rumors about trading him. I don't know where you stand on that. I'm not trading him this year. I'm trying to restructure him, but I got to keep him. I can't have a rookie corner and then trade Slay. You know what I mean? I need Slay here.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like James Bradberry is not coming back. We can't go into next season with two brand new corners on the outside. Nevontae Maddox, the one leading that charge, in the slot. No. Darius Slay, with the position that we're in, Darius Slay has to come back. Now, I hope Darius Slay does restructure his contract, shake a few dollars off so we can spend elsewhere. And that's, you hate to be in somebody's pockets because that's their money. But from what I've seen from Slay is a leader of this team, one of the leaders, one of the faces of this team. I feel like he would be one of the guys who would be willing to restructure their contract. And like you said, we need somebody who can help mentor whatever rookie we have coming in, help them come up, because week 1 to week 17, it ain't no joke, okay? We need somebody who has been there before and a veteran. And Darius Slay is that. Did he have the most consistent season? Did he have the most amazing season? No. But he has to be back on this team next year. And we have to go cornerback. It's just imperative. Like, it's imperative that we go corner. Now, how we might trade back and get us another second round pick or get us another third round pick. He might trade back 10 to 12, 13, 14, 15. Whatever pick we pick in first, it has to be best available corner. We have not been good at developing cornerbacks. We have to take one of these guys that's early, whether it's Christian Gonzalez, whether it's Joey Porter, Devin Witherspoon. We have to take one of those guys because we need someone who is ready day one or as close to ready as we can get, because I'm scared. The last couple of drafts, we have needed to go cornerback, bro. We got James Bradberry at the buzzer. We were about to start last season with Zach McPherson.
I know. And then remember the season before that, we were talking about Steven Nelson at the buzzer too. So we've been low key grabbing a free agent to plug and play at the buzzer, talking about some August pickups. You're on the squad starting, and Steven Nelson didn't do nowhere near as good as James Bradberry. But that's why I agree with you. I think unless Jalen Carter falls to your lap, you know what I mean? Unless Jalen Carter falls with the, misdemeanors and blah, 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 what's going on, I think you got to go corner,
right?
Because we're in a situation where this is becoming a passing league. And guess what? Jonathan Gannon's system, you needed some corners. Because, first of all, you need a lot of things. And now Sean Desai, he's going to want to play coverage. So, yeah, playing coverage gives your corners help. But the reason their philosophy is giving corners help is because it's a passing league, and that's the way it's kind of trending. And so you need to have corners. You can never have too many corners. If offenses are talking about more wide receivers, the merrier. Well, then you got to match. You got to match that. If these quarterbacks are slinging the rock, two things stop the quarterback: the pass rush and cornerbacks. We've pretty good. We still got a foundation at the pass rush. We got to get corner. And that brings me to a guy like Kalijah Cansey then. With his combine so far, I mean, he has, again, his profile's looking Aaron Donald-ish and Ed Oliver-ish. And again, that don't mean they're going to be able to play that way on the field. But with his 40, his ability to be versatile, I'm thinking you look at him to that 30th pick early in the second round. So if we do not get the opportunity to draft Jalen Carter, which I still think some teams are going to say, who cares? I don't see him fully getting a 10. Especially the more that's going to come out by the time the draft comes. I think he's going to clear himself up. He feels confident in it. He already got back to the draft after going to Georgia.
He cleared that up quick, okay? Quick, fast, shoot. Whoever his lawyer was ready.
I needed him back in 2000. No, I'm just kidding. But so I can see us doing something like that where we go corner early, and then you're looking at one of these guys like Kalijah Cansey, who jumped on my radar after today. And again, I still want to see what free agency brings us, because there's a scary scenario where Bradberry gone and Hargrave gone. So that will allow Howie to say the best guy available. Is it a D tackle? Is it a corner? Got to get one. But I think whoever you don't get at 10, you got to go for around 30. So I'm going either in a perfect world. In a perfect world, you go get your corner at 10, and then you get somebody at 30, a little, maybe move up, maybe move back. And again, Kalijah Mitchell's jumping onto my radar with this combine. But his play at Pitt matches too, though, because that's the one thing you don't want to do. Just draft off a combine. The combine is supposed to mirror what you see on film. You know what I mean? The film is what matters the most. But it's supposed to be a cosign. I see, he really does got that speed. I seen it against blah, blah, blah. And so short hands don't bother me, especially if you're versatile and you can move the way he does. So
yeah, I like Kalijah Cansey. I know they're saying he's a little bit undersized, but I feel like Javon was a little bit undersized. I don't think, and we got a big wide load at Jordan. Jordan taking up all that space.
Jordan 1.5.
Exactly. We got that big load with Jordan. I don't mind taking someone a little bit undersized. And if we're going to have somebody that we want kind of in that same mode as Javon Hargrave, say Javon Hargrave slips. That speed and that athleticism and Javon being a little bit more lean is why he maybe was able to be so effective getting to the quarterback. And that could be Kalijah Cansey. He went to Pitt from the area, already local. And I saw before the draft some mocks, and them mocks, it could go a million different ways. But I saw a couple of mocks having Kalijah go to us with that 30th overall pick. So if it is a scenario where we do, I feel like there's so many good defensive tackles that's like in the bottom half of the first round that we can get. I feel like we're gonna be good. There's so many guys, Miles Murphy, Javon Dexter out of Florida, Siaki Ika, even though he's a big one. I don't want two big dudes like Jordan Davis, because we need somebody who got some stamina to stay out there. But there's a lot of good guys in the second half, in the bottom half of the first round of defensive tackle, but that's not the same for cornerback. So shoot, I'm just feeling like we have to go corner with whatever, unless Jalen Carter falls. If Jalen Carter falls, that's the only situation where I'm flipping the script. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And like I was saying earlier in my own video, Jalen Carter has a misdemeanor. It's not going to be anything that's going to take any longer than a few hours, some community service, some online volunteering or whatever to clear up. And that does not concern me. I'm saying dudes is committing crimes right now that are on NFL roster. Dudes is committing crimes all day long. And I'm saying we can't act like the dude is young. Like he's what, 20 years old?
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
It's a lapse of judgment. I'm not attacking his full-on character for a lapse of judgment. I've done stuff at 20. Shoot, I'm doing stuff now.
She's like, shh. And listen, I'm still on the Eagles YouTube roster. You know what I mean? Nah, I agree. I mean, it was a bonehead decision. And again, I think that if he did lie, I don't think the lie was anything more than I was scared and I just wanted it to be over. I panicked. Exactly. Yeah.
And they said he went back, like he fled the scene, but he came back later. So I'm saying he panicked in the moment, and then he got some sense about him and came back. So I'm saying we've all sped before. We've all ran a red light. We've all ran a stop sign. I'm not judging someone because, their mistake ended up being fatal. It's just a blessing. We've all texted and drive. I'm not judging someone because, their mistake ended up being fatal.
Yeah. And see, I like how you said it. I think there's more. I think you get a better bang for your buck if you go ahead and do something like one of the top 3 corners and then get one of them D tackles or D linemen in the later half of the first round, like we just said in Kalijah Cansey or even Nolan Smith, who he's not a defensive tackle, but he plays edge too. Georgia linebacker / edge rusher, pair him in a rotation with Sweat and Hassan Reddick. But if you flip the script and we do find ourselves a D tackle we really like, or just say Jalen Carter falls to us, then I'm looking at guys like Ringo, Garrett Wilson. They would be the guys I would take around that 30 mark. But I don't really see a scenario where we go anything other than corner, D tackle, corner. I would be shying away from D tackle if we hear March 21st, Eagles and Hargrave get a 3-year,
right,
$42 million, blah, blah, 2-3 year deal with Hargrave. I'm like, hey, cool. But right now, with my suspicion that both Bradbury and Hargrave might escape us, it got to be D tackle, corner D tackle. And I prefer corner D tackle. I would love to get like a Witherspoon, Kalijah Cansey combo. You know what I mean? That would be legit. 2 guys I feel confident in making an impacts. And you need your first round picks to make impacts.
So say Javon Hargrave departs the organization, would you want to look at a free agent defensive tackle?
Hey, listen, if Sue's like, I want to, like, again, the same way we went out and got Sue and Linval Joseph midway through the season on some very, very cheap contracts, they pretty much felt the room out and said, I got a chance to play some football, not have to play much. I'm gonna be in a rotation, only working 25% of the time, and I got a chance to get a ring. Again, if nobody signs them and they go back to chilling on the couch for the first 3 weeks, and the Eagles start out 4-0, they could be on Howie's speed dial in the sense of, hey, unless you trying to run it back. So I will look at a D tackle for that. I don't see us. Here's the thing. What's it called? Who's the D tackle from Washington? That's a free agent.
Deron Payne.
Yeah. So like, if we don't got money to get Hargrave, they're
Yeah. They
neck
hit
and
him
neck.
with the
Same
tag
boat.
too.
They hit him with a tag.
I know he pissed.
He is. JB Warnock with the $2 super chat. This is another person, and shout out to to the Gamecocks, because they just dropped what's his name into the league. The dude from Carolina Panthers. We wanted him. What's his name?
You talking about the DB?
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think his name.
Somebody in the chat let us know. We were talking about it. It was Patrick Surtain and
I can't think of his name.
They both got drafted.
JC
Horn.
JC
Horn. So they just produced JC Horn. Israel Mukwamu was a really late round pick to the Cowboys who started playing pretty good. I did an interview with him, and Cam Smith is someone not to sleep on too. Like I said, now that I'm thinking about it, Cam Smith is a guy who might be around that 30th area too.
Mm-hmm.
You might give or take, you got to move up a little bit for him, or you could stay at 30 or fall back. So I think there's good. I think the combo is good.
Right.
I still rather get a top. The combo is good either way. You go corner first with one of the 3 top corners, and then fall back on one of the 4, 5, or 6 defensive linemen, or vice versa. You go again. I don't see a D tackle or a D lineman being there at 10 that just makes you have to get him once the big ones go out. Right?
The only one would be Jalen. But yeah, I feel like this first round it's laced with cornerback and defensive tackle, and we really lucky because those are the 2 top things that we're gonna be needing to target. And it's laced, like I said, with defensive tackle talent, all different kinds too, all different varieties, all different kinds of flavors at defensive tackle. And then it is a lot of cornerback talent too in this draft. You have your top guys, your top tier guys, and then you have those guys that's kind of like late first round, early second round, in your Cam Smiths, your Ringos. There's a guy out of Kansas State. I can't think of his name. But he's a good prospect as well. So we really can't go wrong with the only thing for me is we don't need a project cornerback. We can be fine with getting a project defensive tackle. We can get away with that. We've proven we can develop at tackle. We're proven that in the trenches, we're going to be fine in the trenches. But we don't need a project at corner. I just don't see that. That's not going to end well. It's not.
Yeah.
I totally start well. How about that? It's not going to start well because, like I said, this schedule, whoever we got week 1, it could be the Kansas City Chiefs. If the NFL script writers want to do that dirtiness to us, and now he got to be going out there trying to go up against whoever they got back there. But it's going to be Patrick throwing the ball. We don't need that.
Yeah, I hear you. Once again, shout out to JB though with the $2 super chat and reminding me about Cam Smith. But you're right. Here's the thing. Cam Smith, Ringo, Garrett Wilson, they might be able to do it. But because we are deeper at defensive line, D tackle, corner is whoever we bring in, he's the second best corner on the team. He jumps Josiah Scott. He jumps Zach McPherson. He jumps Avonte Maddox on the outside. You prefer him to be inside. So when you look at it, whoever comes to the Eagle at the cornerback position is going to play 85, 90% of the snaps. A D tackle if we take the D tackle in the third with the 30th pick, who's maybe say the fifth best D tackle, the sixth best, the fourth best, he should be ready to play. But what we're going to ask him to do is going to be far less than what we ask our brand new corner to do. And what has me a little scared, and I totally agree with you. What has me a little scared though is Howie Roseman is like, I love defensive linemen. So, depending on how the board falls, if he falls back to 15, just to garner some more picks, because he keeps saying multiple times, we can't sign everybody back, and he knows that. It's going to be very interesting. This is the time I hate really. I love talking about the draft, but I hate it for the simple fact that I'm not the biggest college watcher, so I really do start cramming in as much. Anytime I got time to watch anything, I stopped watching. I hear about my Eagle news now more from Twitter or whatnot than I do any other thing, because I'm trying to watch as much college stuff as I can. But I still don't like to dedicate time here or there, because I really want to see what we do with the free agency, and I think that always dictates the draft, let alone who we should be looking at for that 30th, 63 or 62. They're important picks just as much as the other ones. All four picks in the top 100, you want to be contributing.
See, we thinking like us.
Gotta think like Howie.
We gotta think like Howie. So this is the Howie formula. This has been the Howie Roseman formula. We got this all planned out perfectly, how it should go, right? Howie's gonna trade back one of them teams around there. Let's say in my perfect draft night trade scenario is with the Houston Texans. The Texans are picking at number 2, and they're picking at number 12. Let's say number 2, they get their Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, whatever. At number 12, they might want to trade up to 10 to get a quarterback, or vice versa. Let's say they go quarterback number 2, and then Jalen Carter falls down to 10. Now that, he in that hot water. The Texans trade up to 10. We trade back to 12 and the Texans have an early second round pick. I think they pick at 33. We don't pick till 66 in the second round. So we move back to 12 and pick up that second round pick at 33.
That's a lot though. To go up 2 spots to give up an early 33.
You think so? But for a quarterback?
Yeah, true that. But the thing is though, they know we're not taking a quarterback. so
true.
So then so they really only got to worry about the 11th overall pick. You know what I mean? And to give up a 33rd overall pick, which is the first pick in the second round, or you know what I mean? Or the first pick in the second round. That's rough. But look, and that's the thing though. If Jalen Carter's there, that's the one thing that says you just do it.
Jalen Carter might
just
flip
do it.
Let me see who picks at 15 or something.
The Packers.
Man, the Packers don't even know what they got going on.
I'll take the 15th. And then
Packers,
wait.
Who knows what the Packers got a lot to figure out. They got they got 2 old boys they gotta deal with. I know they got traded up for another quarterback or something.
Nah, yeah.
Somebody like the Jets at number 13, because the Jets have Houston in front of them. So maybe the Jets want to jump Houston to get a quarterback. And we move back. Let me see where the Jets pick again, though, because
Jets are scared to take quarterbacks early in the draft right now after Zach Wilson. They trying to get Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so but I feel like this is the Howie formula. This has been the Howie formula. One, how we gonna trade that pick? Because where have we been staying put in the last couple of years? Like something is getting moved. 10-30, something's getting moved. But Howie is going to sign a cornerback in free agency, which, shoot, I'm not even mad at, because, again, the schedule. I'm looking at somebody like Cam Sutton from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've been hot on the Steelers free agents. Steve Nelson Island, who wasn't but we still tried it out. Javon Hargrave. So we've been testing out those Steelers waters. I like Cam Sutton. They're saying his market value is around $7 million. He had a good season last season. He had a career high interceptions last season. That's somebody I'm looking at. Then we can not be so pressed to having a corner. We can just go best available. We won't be so hard pressed to find that corner that's going to be ready day one. Now, I know some people have their hesitancies of doing the little Band-Aid signing we've been doing at cornerback for the last couple of years, but shoot, it worked last year. And Cam Sutton is somebody we can sign a little bit longer term. And instead of that prove it deal, like James Bradbury was just going to be on a 1-year deal to prove it so he could flip it like he did. But Cam Sutton is somebody who I think we can lock up for 2 years, maybe 3 years, and we already know what he can do. And then we won't be hard pressed for a corner, because at the end of the day, Howie's going to go defensive tackle and he's going to go offensive lineman.
Yeah, he love it. He loves them too, no matter what. No matter what we say, right? And I do agree with you. We could be feeling totally different about this in about 2-3 weeks when we see, March 16th, March 15th, the new league calendar year starts, and we officially see Bradbury gone to the Cardinals. So now
that's just the worst time of the year. That's the worst time of the year, bro. I don't care who it is. Like, I just hate seeing my team get picked, bro. I hate seeing dudes just go on like it never happened. Like, dang, do you remember what we had last?
Do you remember?
Yeah, I hate it.
They just be packing their stuff up. But once we know that, that's when, again, Sutton is a guy that makes sense. And then you look at the draft different. Right now, I think the two glaring holes and the two question marks, the two guys that were pretty good, that played at a very high level last year, that were missing, and we have to replace that production somewhat, is, again, corner D tackle. Miles is leaving, but we believe in Jeff Stoutland and the offensive line, who Jeff Stoutland is the run game coordinator as well, and he got some good designs in there. We know what Jalen Hurts does to the linebackers, and we believe that Kenny G can do enough with another running back to the side of him, whether it's a bruiser or somebody, to get it done. I think that's the biggest look now. See, that's why I'm trying to keep my mindset like this. Like, as I was watching the combine today, I try to say, you know what, just watch the combine as a fan of football. Don't try to look who the Eagle needs, what the Eagle needs are. Like, when you're watching this combine, watch as if you are not trying to fill any spot or any hole. Just watch for talent. Watch who pops out. Go watch their tape in game, because film matters more than the combine, of course. And then wait till free agent. Like, I can have my favorites and always keep my eye a little bit more open to the needs as of now. But just because we don't sign our guy back, as you said, Bradbury gone, Hargrave gone, maybe we get a cheaper veteran D tackle, a cheaper veteran corner that we now don't feel as bad for. But it is going to hurt to see, like, especially if it does it like this. Like, imagine the first day, like 3 Eagles gone. Like, could you imagine if it's like March 16th and it's like Hargrave, 3-year, $59 million to the Jets, Bradbury, 3-year, 40 whatever million, Miles Sanders, 3 years, $50 million. Like, if we lose, I'm talking about in a span of 48 hours, I think we lost 6 free agents.
And
bang,
knowing
bang, boom,
Howie,
boom.
it's gonna take Howie a long time to make a darn move. So we're gonna be sitting, waiting, like, do something. But because when I was talking about this in the past, people were saying, oh, we got to get away from that. We got to start developing our own corners. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we can start doing that when we're in a rebuild mode. We don't have time to be testing and experimenting. We are in Super Bowl winning mode, okay? So if the best scenario is to sign a veteran corner, I'm not mad at that. We have shown and proven. I know we have a new staff, and I will give credit to Denard Wilson. Denard Wilson has been with us 2 years, and we've seen the best cornerback development and play that we've seen in a long time. Reed Blankenship came off the UDFA, thrown into the game against the Packers, was ready, been contributing. Avonte Maddox had his best year. I mean, James was a veteran, but still one of his best seasons. Darius Slade flipped into 2-time Pro Bowler. So we have in the last 1.5 years had a better track record at developing corners. But over this time, where are all those other guys? Where happened to the Zach McPhersons? What happened to the Josiah Scott? What happened to the Josh Jobs? Remember that one time we went on a run and we were signing all them corners. We was traded for all them corners, all those late round picks. Where did they go? Because at the end of the day, we had to go import Darius Slay, who was ready. We had to go import Steven Nelson, even though he wants ye. We had to go import James Bradbury. So all I'm saying is, yes, I acknowledge that we have been bad at developing corners, but what I also acknowledge is now's not the time to go to the drawing board and start experimenting. Now's the time to plug and play. So I want to go get somebody like Cam Sutton and Byron Murphy. I like Byron Murphy. I haven't done a video on him from the Cardinals, but the only thing about Byron is he spent half of last season hurt. So I don't know what he got going on with his bones and ligaments. Like, is he fully healed? What he got going on? That's the only reason why I'm putting Cam over Byron. And then also, Byron's market value isn't on Spotrac. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because what your money looking like? Because if he looking like too much, then that's not an option for me. And Cam is only 27. He could be once Darius Slay moves on, Cam can still be here. He could be a longer term option for us.
Yeah, and it does make sense. And I haven't even paid attention to any corners, any veteran corners. I was, again, I'm still hurting from the Super Bowl, to be honest. But anyways, I was just starting to look at, again, because free agency comes before the draft, but the combine, makes you feel like talking about the combine. But I'm going to start digging in, and you're right. It makes perfect sense to still do that, for the simple fact that even if we do get a top 10 with our top 10 pick, we go out and draft a corner we think can start today. Still, corners are important, and we're going to lose Bradbury most likely. And Darius, we can't act like Darius Slay's on a 5-year deal locked up in his prime. So regardless if we get a veteran corner to help play for 2023 and 2024, you still got to invest at that position, which, back in the day wasn't it wasn't that crazy. But now, again, you know how many teams go 5 wide? You need to have your nickels locked up. You need to have your outside corners. Again, we're talking about all these quarterbacks throwing for 5,000 yards now on average, 4,000 yards on average. Well, how do you stop that? You need somebody to play defense. The secondary is important. And so I'm all for just, having the more the merrier when it comes to corners.
Right. Yeah. And then again, what we've been bad at drafting corners, how he has proven that he was going to wait till the 4th whatever round. Again, like I said, love Devontae Smith, but we could have went corner at that pick as well. And then not only did we not pick corner first, we didn't pick corner second, we didn't pick corner third. We waited to draft a corner until the 4th round, which is mind-boggling. I don't know why we wouldn't just go best available after Devontae, or even best available after Landon Dickerson. But Howie, for some reason, unless he's a changed man, he hasn't been going corner. He hasn't. So I just feel like if we thinking like Howie's on that free agent, Howie on Spotrac right now, looking like, who can I finesse at corner? And we probably gonna be going defensive tackle. Like, there's some edge rushers in this draft, but edge is not a priority to me right now. Like, yeah, if we get one late, that's fine, but we have to show up that middle. Like, that's really our priority. I feel like free agency, we need to go cornerback. Really, cornerback is the main priority for me in free agency. Every other, like we were saying, we could get a late round running back, we could get a mid round running back, or we can go running back in free agency. But I think corner is the only one where I'm just bona fide, like, that has to be a free agent, because I'm not gambling. I'm not gambling with this schedule. I'm not gambling with, rookie week 1 getting his feet wet. We don't have game cushions this season. We have no cushions on the schedule, and especially with the NFC East. Now everybody want to rise up and be good. Now we've got some stiff competition. We can't wait for whoever we get to get acclimated to the NFL level. Nah, we need somebody who already know, like. Because when you out there on that island, when you out there at corner, that's it. It's just you and your man. Oh, give me a second. My camera died.
All good. Shout out to Yeet B with $2 super chat. He said Bobby Wagner's out there. Patrick Peterson will also be a target in free agency. That's the one thing I don't think I want to go that type of band-aid, because that we know is a 1 year get him a weird chair as well type band-aid. I don't know if I can go as far as that, but I hear you. I'm going to start looking at the free agents at the cornerback position very soon. And shout out to Michael Fedler with another $10 super chat. 3 thumbs up. Appreciate it. Symone's fixing her camera. Let's see what y'all been saying in the chat. I saw people say Greedy Williams. What does his price tag look like? And I didn't even know he was a free agent myself. Definitely got to look at that. Greedy Williams is a good corner though. Like, so I don't know what his money looked like. Again, as things unfold, right? We got our coordinators finally, right? And now when we see what that Jalen Hurts contract looked like, that's another thing, right? So things need to matriculate via Howie Roseman in this front office for us to say, okay, this is what the cap looking like. Kelsey, give us a decision. He probably going to tell us tomorrow on the New Heights podcast. Are we? Because if he said he want to come back, how we going to try to make that happen? So it's like, are we with Kelsey? Without Kelsey? Are we? What does Jalen Hurts' contract look like? What does the cap hit for this year look like? What is the restructure of Darius Slay, Lane Johnson, and Jake Elliott, guys who are eligible for a restructure, look like? Right? Do we have that 30 million? What are we playing with? So my thing is, last year we were in a position to be like, the world is our playground, because we got we had the stuff, and we knew that Howie was, once Howie made this move, like early in off season, we got Hassan Reddick. We were like, okay, this is a move that shows, we're gonna start doing other moves, right?
Right.
Boom. We started hearing trade rumors for AJ Brown or DK Metcalf or Debo Samuels. And I'm glad we got AJ Brown out of all of them, to be honest, now that it's all said and done. But we were hearing them rumbles. Right now, the rumbles are, who are you going to sign back out of these 17 free agents? How much are you going to pay Jalen Hurts? And what are we doing with these draft picks? And so I need some things to start falling so I can start connecting the dots. You know what I mean? That we just got our coordinators 2 days ago.
Man, the rumbles, I don't like the rumbles this year. Like like you said, last offseason was so magical. We were rumored in every single scenario. We till the buzzer, like with the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming in at the buzzer, like moves on moves on moves on moves. Like, I need us, again, when it comes to restructuring, I feel like the restructuring is going to be key. That's going to give us the most flexibility that we can have, and we have to hit home in this draft. But like you were saying, I'm not interested in a Marcus Peters. I'm not interested in that kind of band-aid at safety. Like I said, at corner, when I'm looking at somebody, like I said, Cam Sutton is only 27 years old. This is somebody who has some years left. He just had one of his best seasons, and he's still in that middle cornerback market value. So that's somebody I'm looking at, not a Marcus Peters. I feel like that's just too desperate of a look. And that Ravens defense last season was just so suspect and so questionable. I don't want
Actually, I think he was talking about Patrick Peterson. He's even older.
Not Pat P. No. I thought he was talking about Marcus Peters.
Hold on, let me see. I gotta go back to it now. Maybe he said Marcus Peters. Nope. Patrick Peterson. Fresh off the Vikings team.
Absolutely.
That no defense Vikings.
Right. That let the Colts, that let Matt Ryan drop what, 40 on them?
They got beat by Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Everybody. Absolutely not. I want no parts. I wouldn't be mad at a Bobby Wagner. But what you think about TJ and Kaiser? Are you bringing them both back? What are you doing?
I think you can only bring one. And I think you got to bring the cheaper one.
Yeah.
I'm hoping TJ is the one we bring back, because I think that TJ Edwards and the Kobe Dean tandem is better than the Kobe Dean Kaiser White tandem. I think they play off each other better. I think Nakobe in his first year starting should be outside and let TJ be inside. I think you'll get the better bang for your
Yeah.
buck there. But yo, I saw and people were telling me this, and I didn't want to believe it. But I did look on Bleacher Report, and Bleacher Report is saying that 12 million, the Giants are willing to pay him TJ 12 million or something. Like, TJ, don't go to the Giants. Like, come on now.
12 million for 1 year?
No. Well, that's what you'd be making annually. I don't know. I don't know what the whole thing is.
Damn,
I briefly
read
read it as soon
like
as
that.
they must got money. I don't know exactly.
Let me see what they got him on Spotrac. TJ,
Yeah.
they got him making that kind of money.
Yeah, once I saw 12 and I saw Giants, I stopped looking at it. So I just saw it today. Literally, I was rushing back to get home to take care of some things before I got on here. Somebody hit me up yesterday, like, because they heard me talking heavy about TJ Edwards, and they were like, bro, I don't think TJ Edwards is gonna be here. Look on Bleacher Report. And I clicked it like while I was like not paying attention. So I gotta look at it again.
Yeah, that's on Spotrac. They his market value is $12 million, 4 years, 47 mil. They're expecting. God dang.
Yeah, see, we can't do that. Can't do that.
So Marina said, y'all are making a huge assumption that Dean will be a starter. It ain't assumption. It's gonna have to be. Like,
wait, who said that?
Someone in the comments, Marina, y'all are making an assumption that he's gonna have to, because like you said, we not bringing TJ and Kaiser back. Nakobe Dean gonna have to step up.
Well, here's my take on Nakobe Dean. You can't firmly say like we got evidence that he'll be great. I understand that. But we have seen him come in and clean up duty a couple of times this season and make some plays. Again, was it against superstar talent? Maybe not, but he showed what he's capable of doing. The thing was, the Eagles didn't give him PT, and It could have been for a couple of reasons. One, he did need to get his NFL body right. I think that is what he worked on this red-shirted type season. And what other factors played into it is TJ Edwards was playing great ball, good enough to get him to have a 12 million per year contract, right? That means he's going to be one of the top. He's going to be a top pay linebacker for some team if he takes that 12 million per year, blah, 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 blah deal. So again, Howie Roseman signs Kaiser White. And I think we signed Kaiser White before we drafted Nakobe Dean. Am I right? Did we sign Kaiser White?
It was before.
So Marina, here's the thing.
Yeah. Because I remember where I was.
for the last 2-3 years, TJ kept getting better and better and better. Why would you take him out? We signed Kaiser White before we draft Nakobe Dean because we don't think we're going to be in a position to draft Nakobe Dean. Now, here's the thing. You're paying Kaiser $5 million. He's only here 1 year. You're paying Nakobe Dean barely anything, and he's here for 4 years. How he's going to play Kaiser White unless he's trash and give Nakobe Dean the time to heal that mystery shoulder, red shirt behind some linebackers that are playing pretty decent ball. So I think it was more political why Nakobe Dean didn't play. And again, I don't have no hard film in the NFL to say this guy was beasting against this, and the third, but I saw him go head to head with Derrick Henry. I saw him get in the back of the backfield to make tackles. And I did see him in preseason enough to say, ooh, he can hit them holes. He can hit them gaps. I think it was TJ playing really well, which 12 million kind of backs that up, and Kaiser White being brought here for 5 million for 1 year to do what he was supposed to do. And I think anybody who can redshirt, if you're eligible to, is going to make you better, because the first season for any player is still you're getting your feet wet. So I do feel, with everything I just said, confident to say that Nakobe Dean is going to be playing at a C+, B- level his second year. And I think his potential is way up there, but I'm at least start there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the potential. I don't think anybody's saying, oh, Nakobe Dean going to come out and be Fred Warner. But I'm saying it's two things. He's shown that he has potential, and also he's next guy up. Again, Nakobe Dean was expected to be a first round pick There was no, when we were doing our mock drafts and looking, there was no real scenario where we expected that we were going to land Nakobe Dean. Now he did have an injury and he is undersized, so that really tanked him, and nobody expected him to slip into the third round. So we weren't even going out in the draft expecting to get Nakobe Dean. So when we got him, he was like a steal. And TJ and Kaiser, and especially TJ, kept Nakobe Dean off the field. The same with Javon keeping Jordan Davis off the field. It's no knock on Jordan Davis. It's no knock on Nakobe Dean. The dudes ahead of them were just balling out. When we got Jordan Davis, it was supposed to clear up this problem we got right now with Javon Hargrave, but Javon Hargrave exploded. When we got Nakobe Dean, it was supposed to clear up the problem we got now with TJ Edwards already on the side, but TJ Edwards balled out and exploded. So it was guys exceeding expectations and TJ exceeding expectations, Javon exceeding expectations. It wasn't Jordan Davis being mid. It wasn't Nakobe being mid. They just couldn't get into the game. And like you said, them being able to sit back and watch and get in on those garbage times and get in here and there and learning behind some really good players, that's going to make them even better next season. So I feel like Nakobe Dean has the potential and he has the tools to be great. We cannot deny what he did in college. And with those guys coming out, all we have to do is base it off college. So don't start, college hate the NFL. But y'all talking about all these prospects right now, all y'all are basing it off of is what they did in college. And Nakobe Dean was the best player on the best defense in college football. So, shoot, he could still be that dude.
I totally agree. And to put the icing on top there, he's playing because he has to play. So whether he's good, bad, listen, we about to find out who Nakobe Dean is in his second year because good, bad, ugly, we not drafting another linebacker.
He's what we got. Like,
and listen,
we're not sitting here saying, "Oh, we can't wait for Nakobe Dean about to eat." Y'all wait on Nakobe Dean. Y'all wait on him. No, we're saying Nakobe is next. He's next man up. So we gonna be like, okay, we riding with you, bro. Hopefully you good. Like,
now I do believe he's gonna be good. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't want to poo-poo his name, but here's the thing. We're talking about possibly signing back one of our free agent linebackers. If we lose both of them, well, guess what? Nakobe Dean's up and maybe Sean Bradley's up. Or we got to go out there and get a free agent. That's where Bobby Wagner comes in. So look, Nakobe Dean is going to play. We don't even know who else is playing alongside him. But look, real quick, Bold Brew with the $2 super chat. And I need to ask you this, Symone. Would you bring back Sidney Jones?
Where is Sidney Jones?
The last I heard, he was in Jacksonville. I haven't heard since.
Oh, you know what? No. Why would I bring back Sidney Jones? Why is this even a question? I'm confused. Like, is he doing something I don't know about?
Somebody let me know. Has he played on another team besides
pull him up right
the
now.
Jags? Has he played on somebody's other team? Bold Brew, let us know what he did last year. And we'll answer. But look,
he's with the Raiders. He was with the Raiders.
Oh, he was with the Raiders.
No, dang. Absolutely not. If we didn't know where you were last season, that means you wasn't making plays. Because if you was making plays, we would know who roster you was on.
Yeah.
He only played in like 5 games last season.
I mean, that's crazy. I knew he played for the Jacksonville Jaguars sometime in between us, but I didn't know he was playing for the Raiders.
He played in 7 games last season, 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles, 1 pass deflection. I'm good, love. Marcus Epps can do that.
Shoot. Zach McPherson can do that.
Right. Zach McPherson good for that.
So look, we're over an hour and 13 minutes. This is what we'll do last before we get off, because I actually do want to get your take on this. And I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get you back on here. So I'm gonna go through all the free agents, and we don't gotta go long with it. If there's somebody that we have to have a conversation about, we can real quick. But you let me know if you think not if you want them back here, because you're like, I want them all.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. But you want most of them back. Because I would love to run it back. You know, imagine if we were, again, it is what it is, not even talk about it. But let's go, let's go through it. Ready? So we'll start easy. Well, actually, I'll start at the bottom. Wait, is this filtered with age, or what is it filtered with? I don't know how it's filtered, but we're going to start where we're beginning. Marcus Epps.
Marcus Epps, 20 years. 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 Easy answer, bring him back. He's not really costing that much. And yeah, bring Marcus back.
I agree. I agree with you. He's not going to cost that much. He's still a piece in the secondary. You can use him alongside of CJ if we keep him back and reblend the
Right.
ship. You can
They
rotate
already
him.
had that chemistry and all
Yeah,
that going.
and we do play some three safety sets and some big nickel and stuff like that. You can put CJ in the box and have both Reed and Marcus Epps. So because of the money, I say yes too. Gardner Minshew.
Absolutely not.
I agree.
Absolutely not.
I agree. Tyree Jackson.
No.
I agree. Wow, I didn't know why he'd be down here, but here's the big one. CJ GJ.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Got to get it done. Whether he's going to be a little upset that he's on a tag getting 14 mil, or we do got to, because again, if he really trying to get the highest paid safety money, I don't know if we can do that for the long term. So I don't want to be mad as you talked about this early in the show, man. We don't want upset CJ Gardner Johnson. The
Right.
Saints know about that. He you don't let him do no post-game interviews because he gonna be talking everything.
He gonna be on Twitter all day dragging us.
All right, so the long snapper, Rick Lovato.
I guess.
Yeah, you give him like 500K, you good. Miles Sanders.
Because you know how the Miles Sanders cult be. Y'all, I love Miles Sanders. I love Miles Sanders. A fan favorite. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt so much seeing Miles in another uniform, y'all. It's gonna hurt. But I'm not paying all that money for a running back. And Miles deserves that money. He deserves it. But unless he's willing to take less than $8 million, I'm not doing it. No.
I hear you. I don't think Miles Sanders is back, and it's gonna kill me. Fitness Rue for 33 with a $2 super chat. Draft Robinson with Gainwell and Fournette as backups.
Now,
My
man
man
you
said
must have just got here, because absolutely not.
he want Bijan with the 30th pick, and he's still paying for Fournette for. But he said we going in there with the 2017 running back roster. We getting Ajayi, Blunt, and Corey Clement in their prime. You know what I mean?
If Robinson play cornerback, then no.
Yeah, that's what he's like. He's like Bijan. He's gonna play both ways. He's gonna play both ways. Pause. All right, so we left off at Miles Sanders. Sorry, Miles. I don't think you're coming back. Zach Pascal.
I'll bring him back. Push up on Quez a little bit. Push up on him. Which Quez
Zach
was on the list?
Zach's tough. Zach only cost. He only cost $1 million last year.
Wait, you said who? You said Zach Pascal, right? Yeah. I thought you were saying Zach. But yeah, I would bring Zach. I mean, he's cheap. He's a good blocker. I mean, for a wide receiver, if he was wide receiver 4, shoot, I can see him pushing up to wide receiver 3, maybe. I don't know. I just feel like we need to have some competition at wide receiver 3. The bar has to be stepped up, because we're going to be in a lot of high-scoring games next season with these offenses we're facing, and we have to be able to keep up.
Yeah. And here's my thing. If you have Zach Pascal, like, here's the thing. I think the decision has to be made. Either you try to trade Quez to save $2 million and give $1 million to Zach Pascal, where you can still save $1 million and have your wide receiver 3. The only way I see Zach Pascal really coming back is if we're maybe parting ways with Quez. So I don't think we keep Quez on for $2 million and then try to give Zach $1.5 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that's like, now you're going about $3.5, $4 million on that wide receiver 3, because they're going to be splitting reps. So Zach, if you can push out your bro Quez, you can get back on the roster. But if not, you might have to be gone. Boston Scott.
Absolutely. Unless Boston is feeling him. Now, I love Boston. But again, Boston, know your role, know your place. You're running back 3, my brother. Don't start feeling yourself after the 2 Giants games. Don't start looking at.
He's like, hold on. We got Giants week 1. Oh, right. Yeah.
Don't start pocket watching. Know your role and know how much your role costs, and come back for the cheap.
Yeah. Boston Scott, I'm bringing back, especially with losing Miles and not knowing exactly what we're going to be able to do. Draft, free agent, running back, blah, blah, blah. Boston Scott is back. Linval Joseph.
Absolutely not. Now, Linval is at the buzzer if he want to come for $20 and some cheese steaks. Now, if he want to come back for that vet minimum that we ain't gonna feel in the books, perfectly fine. Come. But if he wants some real tangible money we gonna see and feel, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Sue.
I think both Linval and Sue they only can come back after week 6. It's a clause like, yo, stay on the couch till week 6, and then we get you when the money really, really right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's the next one. Ndamukong and Sue. I'm saying no too.
Same.
All right, TJ Edwards.
Again, after seeing that money, shoot. But again, I'm not coming into next season with 3 question marks at linebacker, because Nakobe Dean is still a question mark. He's a question mark with a lot of potential, but at the end of the day, still a question mark. I'm not coming into the season with 3 question marks, whether we draft, unless we're filling that with free agents. But ideally, I would want to bring TJ Edwards back. I would want to have that veteran presence. He's been the middle linebacker. He's been on the team. He's a dog. I mean, he was undrafted, and now he's talking about sniffing $12 million. I mean, I will bring him back if I can.
Every show, every video I did, he was on my bring back list until I saw the 12, and I don't know if that can happen. But as of now, I'm gonna be still. I'm trying to be as realistic, but that might be my unrealistic take. I'm trying to get TJ back. I'm trying to get him back. So
I just don't see the alternative.
I'm not trying to let 2 linebackers go. I'm letting Kaiser go. That's the next one.
No, I'm saying if we get rid of TJ, what's the backup? Like, who we replacing him with?
Yeah.
Our back is kind of against the wall.
He's all like 12 million. He got us at gunpoint. Now, I mean, look, all right, so how about this then? What about Wagner? What if Wagner's only going to come in for like 6 or 5?
Well, if that's the scenario, but I feel like Bobby Wagner is that only real option in that sweet spot when it comes with money, experience, talent level. If we can get Bobby, sure, but the fact that we only got one real free agent option that fits us monetarily,
that's rough. Yeah. So the next one is Kaiser White. You think he comes back?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. We trying to figure out TJ. Just get the other linebacker up out of here. Here's a good one. Andre Dillard.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The fact that he has ridden this roster so long, the fact that he came this close to ride it out and get a little ring, absolutely not. He has sucked up enough from this organization. Bye.
Yeah, he's like, what a crazy Andre Dillard. What a
how has he been here this long? All these potential trades we was gonna have trying to flip him.
We should have been lifting him for at least a 4th.
Exactly.
That's crazy. And now he about to get signed by somebody. Here's a big one. Isaac Seumalo.
That's tough. But I trust our depth, and I trust our ability to develop and draft at the position. And the money that he's going to want, and the money, again, that he deserves, I just don't think we can foot that bill. And that is why we're so lucky that Howie and Jeff Stoutland do what they do, drafting and developing these linemen. So I feel like we'll be good letting him go.
Yeah. Again, if it's a no cap scenario, I want Isaac back. I think he's a good guy. Same with TJ, but I think Isaac is on. I mean, there's people who got him as a top guard, the top offensive lineman in free agency. So he's gonna have a couple people bidding for him. And we gonna be like, we got some cheesesteaks, bro. That's about it. You know what I mean? So I think he leaves. Bo Brew with another super chat. Appreciate the love and support. Eagles have to get Band-Aids or kick tires on some former players. Hurts getting the bag, so not a lot of money to spend. I know, but listen, I've been to the Dollar General. I've been to the dollar store. There's the stuff that is. There's a stuff that is in the back of the dollar store, and there's a stuff on the nice, pretty racks. I'm still trying to get the pretty racks dollar store stuff.
The stuff that don't look like it's for the Dollar Tree.
Or how about this? If we have Five Below, I still want to spend $5. I don't want to spend $1. How about
Exactly.
that? I'm trying to
Exactly.
still spend $5. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I do hear you, Bo Brill. We got to think outside the box for some of these things. Unless, again, this is all what we know now. If for some crazy reason the restructure that happens is even bigger than what we think, if we do let some of these guys go and find 1-year deals that are really formidable, like, dang, Bobby Wagner, you're going to play for this, or you're going to do for this, or you're going to do for that. Things can change, and I can't wait to see that contract come out for Jalen Hurts. That's a big part of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's gonna be coming out this season or next season? This off season?
No, it shouldn't really hurt us this offseason. However, though, my thing is how we still going to look for the future too. So like signing guys now that you can't get at all next year, I think he might not bite the bullet as much. Like in a perfect world, CJ Gardner-Johnson, he traded for him because he also wanted to keep him, right? In a perfect world, I think Howie thought he was going to be able to keep TJ. I thought by mid-season, we were talking like we were going to keep Hargrave. Maybe he wanted to keep Bradbury, but things have transpired now to where he don't think he can. So I think he's going to look. So we're not every year with 15 free agents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that all plays a part in it too. But here's the next one. We only got a couple more. James Bradbury.
Again, would love to have him back, but we can't afford him. Sadly.
Facts. Jason Kelce.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If he's not retiring, bring him back. I feel like is he eligible for the restructure?
No, because it'll be a 1-year deal.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
I feel like Jason Kelce is going to be taking a team-friendly deal. I mean,
last year he made 14. But that podcast is now the best podcast in the world. He got making money.
But he just had another kid too. He gonna be wanting to put that money in that retirement fund, set the kid up for the future. Jace, that one's tough. But yeah, I think honestly, I think Jason Kelce's gonna come back. If he comes back, I feel like he's gonna keep it easy on us. I feel like it's gonna be friendly.
I think because we gave him $14 million last year, that if he comes back this year, I think it's more for the love of the game. And here's the thing. Every year that it's been a 1-year deal for Jason Kelce, we've heard like, I guess maybe I'll come back. Like this year, he's excited. Like he's about to have Nick Sirianni and Howie on his show. Like I think the show and the fact that we are good brought some extra life into him. I think the last couple of years where, we made playoffs, but we were, I think he's ready. And so I think Howie will make that work. So I'm with you on it. If Kelce want to come back, he comes back. Here's the big one, Hargrave.
I feel like I'm gonna get my heart broke with Javon, bro. I hate seeing other teams make videos talking about Javon. I hate seeing them projecting Javon going to, we need to sign Javon. Like I said, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is my number one, 1A, but Javon is a close 1B. I would absolutely love to bring Javon Hargrave back. I really, really hope we bring him back. I really do.
Facts. To the point where if you can only get them two and then just erase everybody else, you might have to just do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a priority for those two, and we can figure the rest of this year out.
I hear you. The last two. Oh no, last three. Robert Quinn.
Robert who?
Robert, see you later.
Robert Quinn. And the thing about Robert Quinn,
his name is Robert Quinn. He ain't do nothing.
Robert Quinn owe us a rebate. He owes
I want my 4th round pick back.
Right. We need that pick back. You know what I'm saying?
We might get a 3rd round compensatory pick for James Bradbury if he leaves. Okay. 3rd or 4th. Because of how good he played. That softens the blow, right? A little 4th round pick.
The only thing about Robert Quinn is Sean Desai. He had his 18.5 sack season under Sean Desai. So Sean Desai better not be on that bullshit talking about that's my guy. I want to bring him back. I've seen him have the best season. I know we can get him back there. Absolutely not. Robert Quinn came up and did nothing.
Yeah.
Got us excited for no reason.
I low key, I low key mad at myself because I really thought we were going to have. I thought again. I didn't think he was going to come in and be like sack master, but I really thought he was going to give us one of them big time veteran plays in a big game.
Mhm.
I was calling for a big time play in one of these playoff games. And the first two games, we got so many sacks, and he was still nowhere to be found.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Last two, Fletcher Cox.
Again, Fletcher Cox is in a scenario where he had a heck of a season, especially for his age. I was not expecting this type of season from Fletcher. You know, once you start getting that 30 plus, you just don't know what you're going to get from these boys. So Fletcher's going to want him some money. And he's at that age where he's got to take as much money as he can for this could be his last contract or whatever. So I feel like Fletcher is not going to want to come back on a team friendly deal. He's gonna let me see what his market value is. Because last time I think it was some too much. He 14 mil. They're projecting a 2-year, $14 million. He's the number 8 ranked defensive tackle at age 32. He gonna want that bread, bruh.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So what if you were trying to get Hargrave so bad? You were trying to put that 16 to 18 mil a year for Hargrave, and it falls through at the end. Hargrave gets 20 mil. You're not gonna try to be like, hey, Flesh, you try and go for like 10?
So you're saying if we get Javon to stay.
No. If you're trying to get him and you have the money to entice it, like you're trying to offer him like 16 and a half, 17 mil a year and trying to get a 3-year, 17 mil deal, but it falls through to a team that offers him 20 at the last second or 19.
Do I bring Fletch back instead?
Yeah, because he's a D tackle.
Yeah, I would. If we don't bring Javon, if we can't bring Javon back, then I would bring Fletch back.
I would try my hardest not to do 14 though.
Fletch has been a bona fide leader of this team, bona fide leader of this defense. And I'm fine with letting him walk if we have Javon, but if we're letting Javon walk, then I would entice and spend a little bit more money on Fletcher than I would to try to get him to stay. Because after Fletcher, the big money is Javon, Bradbury, Miles, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's the big money. James ain't staying. So Miles, CJ, and Javon. Miles ain't staying. So CJ and Javon. If we don't get Javon, then we got a little bit more money to spend around. So I'll keep Fletch then.
Yeah. That's the only way Fletch is even a consideration is if the Hargrave thing falls through. And then last but not least, Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham is going to be one of those vet minimum, team friendly. I'm just so happy, to be back. I feel like Brandon Graham is going to be on that team friendly, low, cheap deal. So I'll bring him back. Again, if he wants some money that we're going to feel, if we're going to feel that check come out, if we're going to feel your check come out, then
If Brandon Graham wanted to come back for $5 million a year, would you do it? He got 11 sacks. He had 11 sacks.
Let me pull him up. Let me pull him out. Let me see what he talking about. Brandon Graham is talking.
I think it says 6.5.
Yeah, 5.7.
5.7, but now just give it that little Eagle discount. 4.5.
Yeah, give us a little discount,
That's 4.5.
Yeah, I'll bring him back for that.
Yeah, I mean 11 sacks.
I know,
And he sometimes can play in the middle. He can't play all game inside, but he can rotate. He can do some things. I think BG is like fine wine. And again, if he's talking about 4.5, 5.5 million, because he said on a podcast, I forgot whose it was. There's somebody who's, important, I guess.
Stay on a podcast, boy.
Yeah. He said he wants to play 2 more years. We'll worry about the year 2, but I think a guy like him who wants to play still 2 more years, who's coming off his best season after being in the league 10 plus years, he's going to only play for another team if we kick him out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, we open a door for him. He's still not walking out. We got to push him out. That's how dug in he is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think without pushing him out, he'll take something nice for us. And so BG is a guy I think. And so again, here's my thing. Let's just say we get if somehow we can have BG, Hargrave, CJ, Kelsey, and then some of the sprinkle guys like Epson's, Boston Scott. Yo, that's I think that's all. That's a nice chunk that we retained, and then you
Yeah.
go with the draft and maybe a Sutton and a Wagner or something like that. Again, how we got to work. Darius Slay said it today. I watched his podcast on the Volume, and he was like, "Well, we about to see how he cooks now because there's a lot of guys."
Yeah, let's see how you cook and restructure your contract, Darius.
He better, because he's like
Right.
18
You know
million against the
how we
cap.
can cook, right? If you restructure your G.
He's all like, the Volume not paying me enough.
Oh, we paying him enough. We paying him more than enough. He need to
Oh
come up
yeah,
off
we
some of
definitely
that
are for
chain.
sure. But hey,
Yeah.
this was a good one. Hour 34. Philly Talk with Symone with the sports, NFL Combine, free agency. The last bit has been mainly free agency. Again, the Combine, you're gonna have corners running soon, wide receivers, running backs. Are gonna see all of them. We'll talk about it in our individual channels. We drop content all through the week, videos, live streams, shorts, all that good stuff. So go check us out. Hit the like button wherever you're watching. Subscribe. All you gotta do is type in, again, Philly Talk or Symone with the sports in the YouTube search section, and it will pop up. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Keep our hopes high. We got to keep our faith in Howie, because what we've seen lately, Howie has not let us down. He's come through at the buzzer. The players are believing it now. Even the players are talking about how we gonna work, how we gonna get it done. So let's just keep the faith. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be good.
Yeah. And listen, I know how he feel in that Super Bowl loss, like just like one of us. And he says it. And every time he says, everybody says we're gonna be back, but I'm about to do the stuff that's gonna get us back. Like you could see it in his face. He hungry, and so I think he'll do everything. And we do got an owner that if Howie does got to cut corners, legal corners, like let's put this in a signing bonus, let's put this in a roster bonus, let's put this over here, over there. Jeff Lurie's willing to spend. And so I love the combination of them two thus far these last couple years. And as Symone said, keep our faith up. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out. Peace.